guys, welcome back to Critical Flick. Today we're going over Amazon's Chemical Hearts.
Chemical Hearts is the tale of two young people that are, having a relationship. It's your classic kind of coming-of-age love story with an outcast character. Just the typical idea what you think of with a coming-of-age love story.
Yeah, this movie stars Lily Reinhart, which you probably know from Riverdale, and I really think she's a really good up-and-coming actress. Like, she's still kind of new,
Yeah.
and I really love her acting abilities.
Yeah, she was really the draw of us to even really check this movie out because Noelle enjoys Riverdale. I thought she's been good in all the things that I've seen her in, which isn't a lot, but I think she's actually really good in this movie. I think this movie is probably the best performance I've seen of her personally, because there's some few scenes where she really has to show some wide ranges of emotion. And she plays a character that's really struggling with like internal issues. And just seeing that bubble to the surface a couple times during the film, she's able to show that really well. So probably the biggest problem I have with this movie is the other lead in the film, who's played by Austin Abrams. His name is Henry. And I just feel like he was a really flat character. I feel like there's not a lot to him, and maybe that's meant to be a thing to project yourself upon this character. I know this movie is based off of a book, so maybe the book he's a little bit more fleshed out. You understand a little bit more of who he is, but he honestly, for me, just kind of fades into the background most of the time.
Yeah, definitely Lily Reinhart's character has the most depth in the movie, and he is just like that character that kind of narrates the movie.
Yeah, he's just kind of that guy. Like a lot of coming-of-age stories, you have the main lead guy who's just like a kind of quirky guy who like, he kind of narrates everything that's happening. There's literal narration, like with a lot of these films going on. And I don't know. I just felt like it was very flat for me. I feel like he's not really likable. He doesn't really do a whole lot. There's even a scene where he's very unlikable, in my opinion. And some of his motives are kind of interesting. But there's like some really on-the-nose stuff with him. He has this hobby where he likes to break pottery and put it back together. And like once I saw that, I'm like, okay, so he likes to fix broken things. This girl's supposed to be a broken thing and he's fixing her. I didn't love that. I think it's very on the nose. I think it's very disingenuous to what this girl's going through, in my opinion. So I don't know. I just didn't like anything really with this character, honestly.
I like the filming style in this movie. I know Brian mentioned to me most Amazon films have like this indie vibe
it looks it's maybe just us, but I feel like when you watch an Amazon Studios film, it feels more like an independent film that has a little more to it. I feel like when I watch Netflix movies, not to pit them against each other, it feels overproduced. It's very glossy, very bright. This is more of a, singular camera working around some really gloomy areas with kind of a very somber tone to it.
Yeah. A lot of mist and natural light, I feel like, was used a lot.
Yeah, it's just one of those movies that feels like a coming of age story that's really sad and has a little quirkiness to it and has some really, really deep quotes to it.
Yeah.
And that's something that I like, I think, but at other times it feels a little heavy-handed with me, is just the writing in some of these movies.
Yeah.
These kids talk like they're in their 30s. Like, they don't sound like kids. They never do.
That's my biggest thing, because I never talked like that, and I would never even have thought of half the things they're saying.
And that's just something that works with young adult fiction and writing form, especially. When you see this written out, it seems to work a lot better than when you actually hear people saying it out loud. It seems kind of silly. So I don't know. Definitely hit or miss when it comes to that.
I also think it was really cool. This was Lily Reinhart. She was executive producer on the film, and she really pushed for this film to be done.
Yeah, it definitely feels like something that she really dove into. She really takes on the persona of this character. She's able to kind of have a full character arc from the beginning to the end, and I like that. I think that her character is the big high note of the film. Just a lot of the things around her character, like I said, kind of fade into the background. She's the focal point, and everything else could just go, in my opinion.
I'll have to say, I didn't really love the end of the movie. It feels a little unresolved and kind of just ends. And
that's another thing that's a little bit of an issue, like I said, is the overall structure of the film. It's kind of a slow burn. There's not a lot of big events into it. There's not a lot of big moments. Grace has some really standout scenes where she's, going through some major life events, and she's able to kind of show someone who's dealing with like a loss of someone or like a struggle of your past. And I think it's really well written when it comes to her character, but just everything else progresses so slowly, and it doesn't feel like it has a very good payoff to be as slow as it is. It's only an hour and a half.
Yeah.
And it felt much longer than that, in my opinion.
It did for me too. Like when we were at the hour mark, I thought we were almost. So I would give this movie a 6 out of 10. I enjoy Lily Reinhart's character. I really see like a really good future for her.
Yeah.
Her acting ability is pretty good. And other than that, like I like the filming style of this film, but I did not enjoy the ending as it felt unresolved. And I don't know, maybe I would have liked it if I read the book a little better.
Yeah.
But That's how I felt.
So if I were to rate this movie, I would give it a 5 out of 10. I think that her performance alone is worth watching it, worth checking out just to see that. If you're someone who really likes this genre of films, I think you would enjoy it. It definitely is appealing to a certain audience, and I mean, I'm not particularly that audience, and maybe that's why it didn't connect to me. I didn't feel connected to these characters. Maybe I would have 10 years ago, but I don't necessarily now. And I just think that it's kind of a played out concept. We've seen this plenty of times before, and we've seen it done better plenty of times before, in my opinion at least. So, I don't know, hit or miss, some really solid performances, some okay writing, just overall, just not the best thing in my opinion.
Yeah, so this sums up our review of Chemical Hearts on Amazon. Let us know in the comments down below what you thought of this film, if you have checked it out.
Yeah, so if you are going to check it out or you have checked it out, let us know what you think about it. Because it's movies where it kind of hits or misses for us. I'm always interested to see what other people think about it, especially if you read the book. Let me know what you think of it. If you're someone who read the book, I'd really like to know how you feel about the film and its representation of the source material. So yeah, just leave those comments down below.
Yeah, always remember to like and subscribe, and we always appreciate your support, and I'll see you next time.
See ya.